was too short of a commercial break. David Buckner is here, our old friend. And I asked him to come in and talk about hyperinflation. It is a real threat to our economy. And David's a guy who, how long, you've been on the road for how long now?
3 years, but the last, I've been 6 months since I've been back here in New York.
Okay. So you've been going around all over the world, and I wanted to ask you about hyperinflation. You and I had dinner the other night, and I said to you, David, how many times does how many, once you go over there, because they're yelling at me about your light, how often in the past has printing or digitizing money worked?
It's never worked. But what we've looked at is everybody turns to the three biggies, which is like you've got Weimar Republic, you've got Zimbabwe, you've got Bolivia. You look at all those times where they've really done a lot of this printing, and they look at all those and say, Americans, that can't happen here. Because there's a specific kind of layering that has to occur. And America, they say clearly doesn't fall into that. So here's what they say is required for hyperinflation.
Okay, so now you're telling me the next
this is the recipe.
This is the recipe for hyperinflation. For
hyperinflation.
And they say these things will never happen.
And they say there's 2 or 3 things that will never happen in America, which I find really fascinating. Well, the first thing they say is for hyperinflation to occur, there has to be an implosion, an economic implosion. Now,
okay, that can happen.
That's happened.
Yeah.
Okay. Number 2, there has to be a collapse in tax revenues. So we're not collecting as much.
That can absolutely
true. So what does government do? Government tries to raise taxes.
That will happen.
Which they've done.
Yep.
And then the next step is lenders start thinking, wow, you're not even able to cover your bills. So what we have to do is figure out a way in which we're going to step out of the game. Lenders don't want to lend as much.
David, we're doing all of these. China's already said that.
Yeah, exactly. So you see where they say Americans, this can't happen here. There are really 3 things they say can't happen. I'll give you the last one here, which is really the final step. We have to choose between austerity or printing.
Okay, so wait a minute.
So these are the steps to hyperinflation.
Well, all of these have happened.
Yeah, but they say Americans, there's 3 things that can't happen.
Okay, what are they?
Number 1, everyone wants to buy our debt, they say. And no one will ever stop wanting to buy our debt.
But they already have.
I know. That's the point.
Okay.
In fact, in China's buying of our debt, they're shifting it quickly to gold, as we well know. Okay?
Okay.
So the step number 1, the second step, they say, is that even though you've got the debt, we're not printing money.
But
Yeah. But here, the way in which they suggest that Americans don't print money is we're exchanging an asset, a bond, for cash. What they're not saying is that where's that bond coming from? Treasuries. As soon as the government puts it out there, the Fed comes and takes it. It's circular. It's absolutely circular.
Right.
So we are printing money. We are putting double the cash into the economy because when the president is out here saying, you know what, I'll sell you the bond, you give me your cash, no new money's in the economy because the president's the one spending your money. But when the Fed stands over here and says, you give me that piece of paper, I'll give you printed money that the president printed, I'll give you that money, I've now doubled the amount of cash in the economy. But because this is hidden behind a secondary market, the Fed is not buying from the president, the Fed's buying from someone who bought from the president. So that secondary market obscures the fact that we're actually printing money.
Right. But
that's number 2.
It doesn't matter.
No.
We've done it.
We've done it.
Okay.
And number 3 is they say America is productive. No one will ever allow us to default. I disagree. Not only do I disagree, I've been there. 26 countries in the last year, and not one of them can identify what America produces. What do we produce? You could talk about Apple, but guess what? Apple actually manufactures in Manila. Apple manufactures in China. Apple manufactures elsewhere. We produce financial instruments. Well, that really did us quite well, right?
Yeah.
The financial. What do we produce?
Nothing.
We don't. Even innovation, and I work with technology companies that talk about innovation, even that is being outsourced to really bright, intelligent people in India and Brazil and other places. So technically, what do we produce?
Nothing.
We don't. We don't produce. All the innovation you've talked about, we don't produce. So the 3 things that they say that could never occur in America, causing hyperinflation to never be a part of our economy, are not true. Number 1, it is with all candor that people don't want our debt. In fact, China is going, sure, you're the biggest guy in the restaurant, and I know I got to be the chef, and you're borrowing from me to pay me back. But candidly, I got somebody else who just walked through the door, and they're willing to actually pay for their own. It's called India. So I'm not sure I really have to lend you money to buy my food. So the debt is not as appealing, and they're flipping it so fast to where China is going to replace the IMF and Germany, only second to the U.S. in terms of its gold reserves. So China's flipping our debt for gold from the IMF, and who funds the IMF?
We do.
We do. So it's circular. It's circular again. So they don't have to have our debt. Number two, we are printing money. I don't care what anybody says. We have doubled the amount of cash out there. And everybody says, well, you're not seeing hyperinflation. You're not seeing it with the amount of cash out there. The interest rates are so low, nobody's putting that cash back into investments in the United States. But they are putting it into desperate countries in Europe. They're putting into other investments, and the money's going out there. So the second Bernanke raises the interest rates, all of a sudden the money sucks back into the United States.
Okay. And
then we have hyperinflation.
And the third one, real quick.
And the third is production. The whole issue, we're not producing.
Okay. All right. Come on over here. That's what they said will never happen. And all those things are happening. More on this that I think you need to know when we come back. Okay. We're going to go to Buck here for a second because we have a For the Record that is coming up tonight that's absolutely incredible. But I want to finish with David here for just a second. And that is, nobody sees this coming. David, because nobody is, it's exactly what happened in the Weimar Republic. They didn't talk about it. They said it would never happen. And then within a month, when it started to happen, everybody was. One, what do you think? It needs an event to kind of kick it off.
We've had an event, but the one thing we've had is we've become comfortably numb. So there's a lot of hidden kind of stuff that's going on. The treasuries continue to go out, and Bernanke continues to buy debt. And anytime he starts to back off and taper, the markets freak out because they know. The markets know. But we don't. The people don't. People who are retired, pensioners, elderly, they're holding
ones,
money. They're going to be devastated.
The president says, I'm not going to take this on the backs of the working class.
They're the ones.
They're the ones that are going to be hurt.
They're the ones that have their money under the mattress.
They're
the ones that the money becomes worthless.
So what do you do?
Well, the problem is as long as they say, I'll pay your higher salary. You're going to get, that's inflation. Every time the president says, we're going to raise the minimum wage, that's inflation. Every time the president says, we're going to give you a better life, that's inflation. It's all borrowed stuff, and they're not going to see that the money they got in the savings account becomes worthless until they say, wow, I lost my job. Wow, I lost my house. The president didn't promise that. Remember, he said everybody had free health care. There's no free health care. He promised all the freebies, and we all sit back and go, look, I can't change the system, so I'll take the freebies.
How long do you think we have?
I think that you're going to see by January of 2015, if not October of 2014, an increase in interest rates which will start the domino. And when Bernanke announced that there would be a tapering, the markets just dropped because they knew that even if the interest rates changed one infinitesimal amount, it was the beginning of the domino.
How fast did the dominoes go down?
3 months. You listen to many of the economists, within 3 months, you're going to see us, and it's going to be perception more than real price. You're going to see hoarding. You're going to see fear. It's not the actuality. So if they can put a glaze over everybody and they're all in the poppy field, it may slow it down. That's the problem, is we're dealing with illusion. It's an illusion of what is real. We don't have the money. So the interest rates go up, you're going to see a domino.
All right. It's always good to have David Buckner on. I wish I was the guy passing out this time. My gosh. Thank you, David. Good to see you. Good to see you. All right, welcome back.
Thanks.
To the good old US of A.